In week 2 in this course, we have a major written assignment that's due, and you'll find this under the assignment link. And one of the things that you need to make sure that you do is to read the directions for this very carefully. Now, what the directions want you to do is you're supposed to choose a scene from movieclips.com. You can choose any scene that you like, but just choose one scene from movieclips.com. Then you're supposed to write a 3 to 5 page paper. This is a research paper, so you're going to need to look at some outside sources. Your textbook for the course can be one of these sources. Note also that the 3 to 5 pages does not include the cover page and the reference page or reference pages. So the first page of this assignment should be an APA formatted cover page. Then you're going to have 3 to 5 pages of text, and then after that you'll have a reference page. So in total you're going to have at least 5 pages and maybe as many as 7 pages. But the 3 to 5 page paper, that doesn't include the cover page and the reference page. Now, in the scene that you choose, you're supposed to analyze this mise en scène, which is what's going on in the setting of the movie. What is it that you're seeing when you look at this piece of film? As you create your paper, you should be looking at the scene from really an artistic standpoint and not necessarily just sort of a plot standpoint. This paper wants you to analyze the setting of your scene, the lighting of your scene, costuming that's in the scene, makeup, hairstyles that are in the scene, all of those things. And if you'll read the bullets, essentially each one of these bullets should be a paragraph. So you should devote at least one paragraph to talking about the various artists involved in the film's production: the director, the production designer, and the art director. And notice that the directions tell you that you're supposed to describe in separate paragraphs each artist's role in the overall design process. So according to the directions, you would devote a paragraph to the director, a little paragraph to the production designer, and a little paragraph to the art director. Then another paragraph is going to deal with lighting. How does the lighting affect our emotional understanding of certain characters? Do certain characters appear in the dark? Do certain characters appear in the light? What sort of mood does the lighting evoke? Is it a mood of fear? Is it a mood of joy? Those sorts of things. And then how does the lighting impact the overall story that the filmmaker's trying to tell? So at least one paragraph is going to be devoted to light. At least one paragraph should be devoted to describing the setting of the scene. The time period. Is it in the future? Is it in the present day? Is it in the 1800s? Is it in 480 BC? When is it? What is the setting? Is it in the United States? Is it in Los Angeles? Is it in Turkey? Where is the location? The culture. Is it American culture? Is it a futuristic culture? Is it the Spanish culture? Who's involved? You also need to devote at least one paragraph to costume. You need to devote at least one paragraph to hairstyle and makeup. You need to devote at least one paragraph to your opinion regarding what it is that you're seeing on screen. Are these elements working together in a harmonious way? Or does the scene seem discordant? Is it sort of out of joint? Do you think the design elements are congruent with the filmmaker's vision for the scene? For each one of these bullet points, you need to have at least one paragraph. Now also, with any research paper, or with any paper that you write for college, you need to have an introductory paragraph and a concluding paragraph. In the introductory paragraph, you're going to tell us what film you're dealing with and also what areas of that film you're going to analyze. This will be part of your thesis statement. The thesis statement is going to be the last sentence of your opening paragraph. And the thesis statement will tell us what it is that you're going to discuss and what is the point that you're going to make about it. So the paper will have an introductory paragraph that introduces the entire essay. Then it will have a number of paragraphs dealing with these various things like lighting and setting and costuming, hairstyle and makeup, your own opinion regarding what it is that you're seeing on the film. And then after you've written all that, you need a concluding paragraph. And the concluding paragraph is going to sum up the entire page, and it's also going to sort of restate your thesis. Also, we need to look at the grading rubric that's used to evaluate the paper. So these are the sorts of things that your instructor is going to be looking for when they grade the paper. This paper counts, you can make as many as 10 points on this paper. So the instructor is going to be looking for whether you've identified each role and descriptions of the contributions of the various artists. That's 20% of the grade. Have you described lighting? That's 10% of the grade. Have you described the setting in the scene? That's 10% of the grade. Have you described the costuming, makeup, and hairstyles? That's 20% of the grade. Have you evaluated the effectiveness and the emotional impact of the scene? That's 15% of the grade. And then the organization of the paper. You have to have an introductory paragraph. That introductory paragraph has to contain a thesis statement that tells specifically the areas of the paper that you're going to study. You also have to have a concluding paragraph, a paragraph that sums up the entire paper. That's 10% of the grade. And then the rest of the paper is devoted to sort of written communication. Is it easy to understand why you're writing this paper? You're analyzing a scene. You're not writing a poem to your girlfriend or boyfriend. Have you developed the content of the paper? Are you using appropriate, pertinent, and persuasive content to discover and develop your ideas? So it's not enough just to say, oh, I thought the scene was good. You have to tell us why you think it's good. You have to give details. If you think the acting is great, it's not enough to just tell us that the acting is great. You have to tell us why it's great. You have to explain and give details. And then finally, we'll be looking at things like spelling, and you have to spell things correctly. You have to punctuate them correctly. You have to use correct grammar. Don't write a paper like you would send a text. You can't abbreviate and things like that. Are you following the APA format? You have to use APA formatting in all of the papers that you write for this class. Have you written the proper amount of pages? At the very minimum, you should have 5 pages that you submit. 1 page is going to be a cover page. That's the first page. The references page will be the last page. You have to have at least 3 pages of text in between the cover page and the reference page. And by the way, the cover page and the reference page have to be on separate pages. The cover page is 1 page by itself. The reference page also should be on a completely separate page. And then finally, the resource requirement. This is the research that you're going to be doing. You'll want to add your textbook as one of your resources, Goody, Kuntz, and Jacobs. The film clip that you choose should also be in the reference list. You should also include comments from reputable film critics, people like Siskel and Ebert, those sorts of people. Comments from sources like Wikipedia or Yahoo Answers or Ask.com, these should be avoided. Also, the Internet Movie Database, you're not permitted to use that. The people who review movies for the Internet Movie Database are just common citizens like like anyone. And so when you do research, you have to use the opinions of experts. You have to use expert opinion. It's not enough just to find the comments of some random person on the internet. This is not good and sound research. If you were in a court of law, you'd want to provide testimony from expert witnesses, not just some random person off the streets. Research is the same way. You have to get the testimony of the most expert persons that you can find. You want experts to back up your opinion. And reputable film critics are the sorts of people that you should be using for your research. Not some random person who writes a review on Internet Movie Database or somewhere else. So I hope this helps, and good luck on your papers.